What up, Big J?
Hey, what's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I turned my mic up because I noticed I'm quiet again and all the other ones. So.
Yeah, just crank the gain. I find these mics, they don't do a great job of, I don't know, just don't have a lot of gain. I mean, they sound good, but
yeah.
Anyway, I have to crank the gain up on my interface as well, way more than like I'm playing guitar or plugging a different mic into it.
Yeah. Might be because it's a dynamic mic. They're less sensitive. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up, man?
Shit, my golf balls I ordered came in today. Those are really cool.
How they look? They came out professional?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, they look good, but I can tell they were done by hand because if you look closely, you can just see like I got a picture on either side, so you can tell that one's like a little up. And then
so it wasn't like laser printed on or something.
Yeah, I was looking at the machines they use, I guess, to print golf balls, and it's like this spongy cone and like a drill press, and then you know the drill press looks like a tire iron, but you like spin it, and the drill goes down. It's like that, but a foam cone. And the cone presses on the golf ball, and it presses around.
And prints the.
But I didn't see ink on the cone, so that's the weird part. Is like, still, it's interesting, but they can only do like a quarter size. But I used some cool pictures. I got like 4 different designs. I put a QR code to a link tree, and it fucking works.
Oh, it works. That's badass.
Yep. On another design, I didn't have time to get them, but I wanted to like show them on the camera next time.
Yeah, I think the green screen effect will block it out anyway.
Yeah, probably so. But they look sweet, man. They look really cool. You know, they look really cool. They look really cool. And I found a website that has all kind of cool golf balls, customizable. So I can level up and get like those beautiful, vivid, neon, soft, high level, like Max Fly balls, and then put a picture on there. That's the shit.
I don't know what a Max Fly ball is, but that sounds
a brand.
Awesome.
It's a brand.
I'm not a golfer,
I go to the golf store, and they have bins in the front of individual golf balls, and they're the beautiful, vivid neon colors, like a matte neon, but vivid, like it's glowing without glowing. It's amazing. Like I buy them every time I go. I get a couple. They're so nice. And then they had another line that had like Avengers and Captain America on it. I was like, I'm not even into this shit. And this looks awesome. I bought some too much money for golf balls, but fucking awesome.
You're into these artistic golf balls, man.
Yeah, man. It's just cool. Customizable golf balls. Last thing, my buddy went to his house. He's got a heat press machine. You familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
You are?
Yeah. I mean, like for like t-shirts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we have one.
You have one. All right. So that shit
Tiffany,
is badass.
She has a Cricut, so it's like she can cut the vinyl designs and then heat press it on a shirt.
Okay. Yeah, he showed me this website where he uploads his artwork and they send the transfers to him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, I gotta put these Skepsis Telegraph logos on some shirts. Put that cat everywhere.
That cat is clip art, but hey, we'll put it on a shirt. It'll work.
No, that's not clip art, dude.
It's computer generated.
An artist drew it, and the algorithm chose it from the keywords they described it as.
Okay.
At least that's how I understand. I understand it. I don't think it's generated, though.
Well, then as long as it's original, it's cool.
Yeah, it's original. I mean, pretty sure it's original. What's been up with you, man?
Nothing. So we have, speaking of just kind of funny merch, we have, all the bumper stickers in South Louisiana that say, kids who hunt and fish don't steal and deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like on every like old Cajun man's truck. So Golgothan made a bumper sticker that said, kids who don't hunt and fish burn in hell, with like flames and everything. Anyway, so we got sent a screenshot from someone on Facebook today, and
Stupid,
it was a
dude.
picture of someone's that had the bumper sticker on the back of their car, and they're complaining about how they were driving like a fucking asshole through the Lowe's parking lot and almost hit a bunch of people and shit driving all fast. But the only bumper sticker on the back was our bumper sticker on the back of that car. And It's like this person, like this random person calling them out. They didn't say anything about the bumper sticker, but we just thought it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Person
dude.
driving like a dickhead through a Lowe's parking lot, about to run pedestrians over. And of course, the only bumper sticker on the back of their vehicle is ours.
That's so funny, dude. Kids who hunt and fish burn in hell.
No, kids who don't hunt and fish burn in hell.
Oh. Kids who hunt.
Because kids who hunt and fish don't steal and deal.
And if you don't hunt, okay. That's because you switched don't. Yeah,
I don't know. Jai made it.
Awesome.
I'll have to send you the design.
That's fucking hilarious.
I just thought it was
burn in hell.
I had this shitty person that
listening to Lard is my shepherd.
Yeah, driving like an asshole. Yeah.
I don't know if I told you that, but I laughed pretty hard when I was listening to a CD a couple of weeks ago. And I looked at the song. So I was like, this is a tight song. And I looked and it said, Lard is my shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
It caught me off guard. And I was laughing for a while. I was like, shit is so fucking stupid.
It's all comedic, bro. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Tongue in cheek. Yeah.
But what's not funny is this journalist that got killed in Israel.
Not funny at all. Shireen,
did you see the video?
No. Did you have a video?
Yeah, I found the video.
I don't know if did it show her getting shot?
No, it just shows the moments, and you can hear the pattern of gunshots and people freaking out. It doesn't really show anything, but I guess we'll get to that.
Yeah. So this journalist is a veteran Al Jazeera reporter named Shireen Abu Akleh.
And Al Jazeera is the Palestinian faction.
Well, it's the Arabic, not specifically Palestinian, but Arabic-based reporting.
It's a newspaper,
news organization. Yeah.
Okay, I was afraid that
they've been around since like forever. Actually,
Al Jazeera is the state-owned Arabic language international radio broadcaster of Qatar.
There you go. And actually, Shireen Abu Akleh was an Arabic Christian for that news organization, ironically. But she did a lot of reporting on the Palestinian journey and plight in Israel. So she kind of became a martyr for the Palestinians. And there were some click-throughs in this article that were I don't know if you went through any of them, but like even at her funeral, you had Israeli police beating pallbearers,
right?
And like make to the point where like they're walking with the casket through the streets, chanting Palestinian songs and things like that. And they start beating the pallbearers. Go so far as to drop the casket in the seat on the street.
And we never heard anything about it. Our media never talked about it.
Not a peep about it. No one's claiming. So, I mean, she's a reporter in in what they consider a combat zone. So it's likely that no one is going to get held accountable for this. The Israelis are saying that, oh, well, we don't really know what happened. We didn't. So the bullet was collected and in possession of the U.S. or handed by the Palestinians to the U.S., but they basically said, hey, we don't want anything to do with the Israelis as far as cooperation on this case. We had nothing to do with this. They did this on their own. The Israelis were like, well, this was a complex combat situation. We need to analyze the bullet to figure out, what weapon it came from so we can determine who's at fault. The Palestinians are saying they had no one in the area. You have video apparently that you watched that that shows the situation, I'm sure, but from what I understand, they were in this alley, and the closest Palestinian combatants, so to speak, were like 300 yards away on the other side of buildings and stuff like that. So it was clear that these people that were in this alley were just a group of press. They had press clearly written on their jackets with these blue helmets and blue vests on. So clear, right? They're not the enemy. The story that the people that were with her say that they fired off a warning shot They take off running. One of the other reporters gets shot in the back, and then she gets shot in the head and immediately killed. So that's the story from the reporters. Israel saying, well, we don't know what happened. It was a complex combat situation. So maybe she got caught up in the crossfire. Palestinians are like, there was no crossfire. There was no one even right there.
It's funny. Israel never denies it. They admit it without admitting it and just say it was an accident, basically. It was an accident.
And then the U.S. is like, yeah, well, we're pretty sure that it was Israeli soldiers. Like, we confirm it's an Israeli soldier who killed her. But I
was surprised. There were a lot of investigations mentioned in here that found Israel to be guilty. The only one saying they're not is Israel. But I was surprised that who did these investigations, like the U.S. Department of State or whatever did it.
The U.S. Department of State did it.
Washington Post, New York Times, all these organizations I always think are so corrupt. They came up with the same conclusion Israel did it. I think AP News said they did their own reconstruction of the killing.
Well, Israel said that the bullet was so damaged they couldn't determine where it came from.
Yeah, and it also mentioned that there's a lot of these situations that Israel draws out for a long time, saying they're going to investigate, and they never do. And they were saying this is going to be another one. This is going to be another instance where it's going to be drawn out, and then it's going to get buried in the media.
No one's going to get held accountable for it, basically.
But let it be known that she was covering an Israeli military raid on May 11th in the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. Palestinian eyewitnesses, including her crew, say Israeli troops killed her and there were no militants in the immediate vicinity. That's what you just said, but it seems like she's covering stuff. Obviously, Israel doesn't want to be covered. Don't talk about our military raid on a refugee camp. And Israel keeps mentioning the Palestinians as militants. And it's like, dude, what people miss, and this narrative is so slick, but what people miss is that they're not militants. It's a genocide. Like they're totally closed off from the world. They get like no medicine. They can't get anything. They're losing their homes.
And they're constantly getting encroached on with these settlements.
Yeah, it's just people that are fighting back. Like encroached on is exactly the word. Abby Martin talked a lot about how at one point when she was covering it, there were literal Israeli snipers picking off Palestinian protesters at like the gate of the city that were just leaned up against the gate that were locked in and couldn't get out or something like that. But they were getting picked off, innocent women and shit. Like it's just a murder. But these people get called militants.
She essentially describes it as the world's largest open air prison.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it is. So, I mean, Abu Akla, she was 51. She was an on-air correspondent for Al Jazeera's Arabic language service and rose to fame 2 decades ago during the second Palestinian intifada or uprising.
She's been
against
around
the Israeli rule. So she documented the harsh realities of life under Israeli military rule, which is now in its 6th decade with no end in sight for the Arabic world, basically. Let's just say that, the Israeli army probably wasn't too fond of her coverage, considering that she did not paint them in the best light.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It says here, the U.S. Security officials examined the results of separate Palestinian and Israeli investigations and concluded that gunfire from IDF positions was likely responsible for the death of Shireen Abu Akleh. So they admit that they probably killed her, right?
Yeah.
Then they go on to say the U.S., quote, found no reason to believe it was intentional, but rather the result of tragic circumstances during an IDF-led military operation against factions of Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
So they're on board with Israel's description of the scenario.
Yeah, like they admit,
even with other eyewitness accounts of like members of the press that were there with her, who were also shot.
Yeah, and then that's that video. I guess we can watch the video. It doesn't show anything, but you can hear what they're talking about because they're saying they were caught up in militant, like a gunfight. But then when you read on, the eyewitnesses say there was no gunfire from anybody up until they started unleashing bullets at the press, which you had described earlier was still 300. Like that. The militants that were even there were 300 yards opposite the press, like you said. And then there was a press, and then 200 meters this way, was the Israeli convoy. So they're 500 meters away. They can't, they can't even see the militants, and they weren't even shooting. So it's interesting how they admit to the wrongdoing, but then so slickly, like, I don't know what the word is, whitewash it, saying IDF led military operation against factions of Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
Yeah, they whitewash it.
Yeah, like you think, oh, Islamic Jihad, stupid, like Americans' first reaction is terrorists, like extremists. And so weird, man. So weird. It's like innocent people just getting blasted. It's super fucked.
Yeah, it is super fucked, man. And then no one is going to get held accountable. And this lady was apparently a household name. Not like this was, so not like a big deal there. Yeah, she was a household name across the Arab world, synonymous with the coverage under the Israeli rule, basically.
Here's a sentence that really got stuck in my craw. The probe was undertaken by the U.S. security coordinator in the region, which was established in 2005 to assist with peace efforts at the time. Who was the president in 2005? Obama? Right?
Right.
To assist with peace efforts at the time. That is so clever when you're reading this. Because
they had them come in to talk about a 2-state solution at the time.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is we're allies with Israel. We send them billions of dollars of military equipment every year to enforce this genocide and to do this killing. So what the fuck are we setting up an office there to talk about peace when we're giving them billions of dollars to fucking murder? So when that narrative is painted, like if you're just somebody reading about this killing and you're not really awake, AP, I don't think they're being biased, but it's still, that's what the U.S. security coordinator was established for. If you go to their website, was to assist with peace efforts. So they're just saying what is, right? I don't think they're being biased, but I know we give Israel all this money. So what the fuck are we talking about peace for? Stop giving money and stop the war. So do you see how there's this weird hole right there? The U.S. security coordinator assists. If you were to look up U.S. security coordinator and see that they assisted with peace efforts in 2005, you'd be like, oh, we're trying to get peace. That's why we send so much money to Israel. So it's like there's two ways of looking at the same thing. One's the brainwashed way. And then there's seeing how it's so obviously bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? Peace talks. It seems so obvious. I don't even know how to describe it.
When did you learn about the conditions of the Palestinians have been living in for the past, 60 years?
A few years ago.
Right. So, we grew up thinking that there was just this small, I don't know, to me, that wasn't how Israel was painted to me as I was growing up. So I think the history of Israel is very whitewashed in the Zionistic way. And yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I think the U.S. does these things on the global stage to act like they're this big benevolent police state that is here to help everybody out, but really tips the tables to one side all the time and keeps these people in constant suffering, basically fucking prisoners in their homeland. So, people that report on it get killed. No one gets held accountable because it goes against really the narrative that they want out there in the world. So not good.
Did you see the Twitter thread that Francis Ngannou posted?
Yeah, I did.
Sad. All those dead bodies, dude.
Were they dead or were they captured? I couldn't tell.
They weren't moving. I saw 2 bodies that were moving.
It was trying to find it. Pretty disturbing.
Yeah, can you find it and share it? Maybe we don't need to share it, but just to
get the word out.
Just to put it in perspective, what we're talking about, were these people dead, or it was just piles of bodies in this big open air prison, and it was just people trying to escape Africa. And my whole question is, this U.S. security coordinator talking about peace in Israel, but we're giving them billions of dollars to genocide Palestine and then lying about it in the media. this is a pattern, and it shows up in this thing Francis Ngannou posted, because isn't Bill Gates Mr. Philanthropy? Isn't he in Africa trying to save the world? Isn't Tesla's Starlink around orbiting Earth so we can get Wi-Fi to these third world countries so that we can fix their problem? What's up with all these billionaire philanthropists investing in saving Africa? And this shit is happening and no one's fucking talking about it. You still can't wake up and realize these Bill Gates characters are fucking frauds. Why haven't they fixed this? And why aren't they talking? Why isn't Bill Gates on the Ellen DeGeneres show saying we've been working so hard to fix Africa? I'd like to bring Francis Ngannou out here and talk about his story, and I need the public to see these videos of what's happening over there. That's what we're up to. They don't fucking talk about any of it. They're making money off of vaccine, talking about philanthropy in Africa, and everyone eats this shit up. Meanwhile, all you have to do is look at this video, and it's so obvious. Like,
all right, turn on screen sharing.
So I don't understand how people have. I don't understand how people have the gall to like mock and dismiss this stuff as conspiracies if you talk about corrupt global power structures, and then they just eat this shit up.
Eat the shit up.
They eat it up. All right, screen sharing is available. And so many videos. It's a whole thread. Each one has like a 1-minute video of, and Francis is familiar with this exact spot, he said.
Well, I mean, because he took this journey. So
Yeah.
Francis took a journey from Cameroon to basically Morocco, and then from Morocco to Spain.
It took him many
Right.
tries over the course of 7 years.
7 years.
Journey is a
like,
nice way of putting it. It was like I don't know what you would call it, but
look at beating these people on the legs and shit.
I mean, I thought
my
they were all
just
dead.
throwing them all on top of each other.
Yeah, man. Scroll down to the next one, man. They're literally piled. They look dead, dude. They look executed.
Oh my God.
I think yeah, man, look at this. No one's talking about it. Everyone's over here talking about January 6th and the insurrection. Now Donald Trump say fucking, gun rights, and they don't want to talk about mental health. And they think
we could think of these people and what Ngannou is saying is like, you think of these people as like throwaways, whatever, don't have to think about them. But like, he took this same exact journey.
Yeah.
And like, the only reason we know who he is because he just happened to get lucky and make it through and become the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. So he's able to like talk about this, but this could have been him,
Yeah.
And this is like a beloved, one of the world's most beloved combat sports stars. So sick, man.
Yeah,
people
it's
are
crazy.
so self-righteous. They ignore shit like this though.
Like, I don't understand this, all this like woke activism that's going on right now. Everyone thinks they care about minorities and women and children's rights out there protesting.
Look at this.
And they don't ever say shit about the 66,000 civilians we killed in the Middle East bombing them. You know what I'm saying? They don't ever say shit about that. They don't ever talk about this. And it's like, I don't believe it.
That person's dead.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
this is like so bad, man.
I can't look at that shit. Holy crap.
Like I can't. People with the Ukraine flag on their car. It's like, where the fuck have you been the last 20 years acting like you care? It's so fake, you know what I'm saying? And it's so obvious. And if you try to talk to people, they'll think you don't care about the issue. And it's like, it's not that I don't care about the issue. It's just you don't actually see all the issue. You can care about all the issues and talk about all of them. You can protest January 6th and genocide in Palestine. You know what I'm saying? Just like write it on the other side of your sign.
It's fucking gross, dude.
January 6th. It was a real election.
Right on the other side of your sign.
Yeah, like it's not. One day I'll be able to articulate this blatant contradiction that is today's society, but right now it's like Chael Sonnen says. How do you explain why 2 + 2 is 4? So simple. Like, how do you explain that? So obvious. But there's some people that just won't get it.
Well, as long as they can virtue signal to the religion that they're they're on the right side of things. It doesn't matter if they really care about these things they're talking about.
Like I had a buddy,
they're really good people,
In the same conversation, one of my buddies said, and this guy, I won't say the name. He said, all these people, I was like criticizing Fauci and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like he couldn't believe it. And he said that these people are in these positions because they're passionate about their jobs. That was his retort to me saying how compromised and bought out these people are, like, no, compromised.
These people get to these positions because they're corrupt individuals.
Yeah, like
we're power hungry.
Yeah, their passion died a long time ago. So he literally thinks it's because they're passionate about their job. And while some of those people are up there, when you're talking about the top, when you're talking about the government's health guy for the last 30 years, passion died a long time ago.
Yeah.
In the same conversation, he admitted that everybody at the top is like bumbling idiots, talking about like SpaceX and Tesla and NASA and these contracts and how like we can't go to the moon after 30, 40 years with today's technology. And he was like, yeah, it's just because people like, they're just like bumbling idiots and you can guarantee the money won't go anywhere. And I was thinking like, dude, how in the same conversation are they passionate about their jobs, but also bumbling idiots we can't trust? It's like people live in these contradictions.
Yeah, that makes no sense. You can't rationalize that.
Yeah, it's like, which one is it? Is Biden passionate or is he a bumbling idiot that's compromised? And like, if they're bumbling idiots, why am I this bad guy for like criticizing this whole establishment? It's so wild, man. I don't even know how to. I think about this all day. Like this stuff it doesn't bug me. I think about it all day, and I'm like, can't believe people don't talk about the genocide in Palestine. Every time I see a Ukraine flag or like a Black Lives, and that's not that Black Lives Matter doesn't matter, but if you care about minorities and people, what about the 66,000 civilians we killed in the Middle East?
Well, you know,
that's WikiLeaks right-wing shit. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, that's right-wing shit.
Right.
We don't talk about that. That's Trump, Russia shit. And that's hyperbole, but that's literally the truth. Like, that's what people think. Dude, I was at the Chinese restaurant the other day in line to get some food, and these two ladies were talking. Right when I walked up, I heard them. It was like I'll take that, and they scoop it. So we're just in line. And I heard them talking. She said, I don't know what it is. It's like they just want attention. And I thought they were talking about some kids. Because there was two ladies talking. I thought they were talking about some kids.
Uh-huh.
And then they go on, and she was like, it's been 2 years and they still don't want the vaccine. I'm like, oh, she's talking about people that still don't want the vaccine. And then she said, there needs to be a law passed where people who don't want the vaccine can't get health care. That's how you want to be? And I was like, wow, dude.
Oh,
not only do they not, this is the thing. They
like step back and think about the bigger
health care you pay for.
Yeah.
They don't want you to get it. Not talking about free healthcare, which we don't even have. Can't get the healthcare you're fucking paying for. Okay, go ahead.
Nothing. That attitude about the vaccine this long after the fact with the data we have now is absurd. You know, it doesn't prevent you from catching it. Does not prevent transmission. I mean, you can maybe say
they lied about like all of it.
You can maybe say it's a medication, right? Like, I guess a therapeutic, so to speak.
Therapeutic.
Well, yeah, like that's what they say that, but like but that's what they would call that.
That's hilarious. No, I'm laughing because it's true. Like,
so it's supposed to make the outcome of COVID less severe, but then here we are. Like, I don't know if you've seen all the stories about people that are boosted are the ones that are actually catching COVID right now.
I know a guy that's quad vaxxed.
Catching it.
He's sick right now and he's getting a COVID test.
So, I don't know what good it fucking does and why you would, and it has a terrible side effects for some folks. So why would you mandate it across a population? That's just such a fucking stupid, uninformed viewpoint. Anyway, let's move on to something more positive because I don't want to slide down a COVID rabbit hole.
I was looking forward to I was planning it. I was like, yes, it's working.
Yeah, well, I don't want to slide down a COVID rabbit hole.
Yeah, so journal is dead. No one's talking about it.
But maybe they do have bumbling idiots at the top, right? Because we have rockets crashing into the moon. We don't even know who is launching.
Dude, this tripped me out, man. This tripped me out.
There's this crater that has it's like a double crater in the moon that's from an obvious rocket impact. And we don't know what country or organization. There's a bunch of billionaires launching rockets in space. We don't know who launched it. We were able to predict the impact on March 4th of last year. They were able to, they were able to spot the unidentified rocket that was on the collision course at that point. What's unique about this is most rocket impacts on the moon are like a single crater. And this one has a double crater, which means that you had something heavy on both sides of the rocket. You generally only have, the heavy weight on one side, which is why it creates the impacts. And I'm going to pull up. You already screen sharing?
I'm sharing it. It's a rocket body. They didn't launch a rocket that exploded. It was the body of
rocket body.
Already used the rocket or something that I guess they just float towards the moon. I didn't even know this was happening. This article talked about how
apparently
this has happened before.
Yeah, and I have some photos of the other.
Oh, you got to share those.
Yeah, stop sharing.
Okay, let me figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I think I can just take it from you.
Yeah,
here we go. So these are photos from the Apollo missions. Their crater impacts, which these craters are larger apparently in comparison to the one from the mystery rocket. You have a crater from Apollo 13, Apollo 14, Apollo 15, and Apollo 17. And then the one we're comparing it to is this one right here, which has like the double crater type of effect going on. So where do you think it came from?
I didn't even know this stuff was happening for me to even know who would be doing it. Like, I have no idea. But somebody's rocket body left a double crater on the moon and they don't know who. Dude, I don't know.
From what NASA says, they say the double crater was unexpected and may indicate that the rocket body had large masses at each end. Typically, a spent rocket has mass concentrated at the motor end. The rest of the rocket stage mainly consists of an empty fuel tank. Since the origin of the rocket body remains uncertain, the double nature of the crater may indicate its identity. No other rocket body impacts the moon created double craters. The 4 Apollo SIVB craters were somewhat irregular in outline and were substantially larger than each of the double craters. The maximum width, which is 29 meters, which is about 31.7 yards, of the double crater of the mystery rocket body was near that of the of the Apollos. Like both of them combined would have been like the size of one of the Apollo rockets. But spoiler, they then this other article I found, they think it is the Chinese.
Why is it the Chinese?
Must be part of a booster from Chang's T1 lunar mission, which launched in 2014. The rocket body was discovered and originally misidentified in 2015. The Chinese government denied ownership, but they think they made a mistake because they have Chang 5 T1 and Chang 5. So they think that they just confused the two of them and got them mixed up.
Do they send it to the moon?
Apparently there's enough circumstantial evidence with the way that rocket booster was created and everything, and the way it, in its mechanics and the way it's built, they're pretty sure in the timeline that they're pretty sure that that's what it's from.
Do they send it to the moon on purpose?
No, I think it was.
Just accidentally hit the moon. They just happen to be aimed at the moon. So whatever hits the moon is a fraction of what actually
goes out. Click through to the mission. Shang 5T1 is an experimental robotic spacecraft that was launched to the moon. Okay, so yeah, it was a rocket booster to launch their robot to the moon in 2014. So I'm sure it was just a booster floating around in space that eventually, bam, made impact. And the Chinese government is not going to. First of all, I think it's just wild that that we could just have rockets smashing into the moon, creating these giant craters, and we don't know who's responsible for it. No big deal.
Yeah, I immediately
the moon
think
only
about
affects tides and shit like that on Earth. So who cares if we keep smashing shit into it?
Dude, can you imagine if it starts flooding in Indonesia like every year, and then they connect it back to
they knock the moon off its trajectory by a centimeter, so it's fucking up the tides.
And then if you start talking about it like how the Pentagon is responsible for the tide shift, you're a right-wing conspiracy nut. Be like, no, it's true. I'm like, no, it's just
that could be happening, bro.
That's wild, man. That's wild. Hey, let me end this and then start a new one, and then we can cover the other two.
All right.
Cop and cop.
So yeah, basically we don't know for sure if it's smashing into the moon from the Chinese, but there's enough circumstantial evidence to point to that fact. Or it could be aliens. It's more, this is a conspiracy heavy podcast, so we can just throw that in there and say it might be an alien spacecraft as well.
It's not outside the zone of possibility.
Philosophically speaking. Philosophically speaking, it's not, because we can't prove that this came from the Chinese.
Yeah.
But we can prove that Marc Cuban is about to turn the prescription drug industry upside down.
Yeah, man.
With a low-cost online pharmacy.
He said a buddy hit him up. He said the idea for the business came from the company's co-founder, Dr. Alex Oshmiansky, who once emailed Cuban to discuss creating a pharmacy that would sell rare drugs at a lower cost. Cuban said, "Why limit it to rare drugs? Let's build a company, and rather than work with the traditional system, let's work outside of it and just have a complete transparency." So what do they have? Like 800 generic drugs offered right there. They get it directly from the manufacturer. They cut out the middleman. They have a 15% markup, $3 handling fee, and $5 shipping. Dude, I see people on Twitter posting all the time screenshots of like, hey, I can finally afford this medicine that used to destroy my life, and it shows it was like $2,000, and then it's only $12 with him. These are like real people saying, "Hey, this fucking
go to the website. You could fucking see the price. Like pull the website up, screen share it. You can see the price differences."
Here's my own my CostPlus drugs. What is it?
CostPlusDrugs.com.
CostPlus drugs. So a couple years ago, I had this allergic reaction. Yeah, man, these drugs are cheap. Let me screen share this. I had an allergic reaction, and I went to the doctor 3 times until finally I went to a twice, and then I went to a dermatologist. And it took all this shit and all this money for them to give me this little tiny tube of TA cream that I needed.
What's it called?
TA cream.
TA cream.
It's like this thing some people just get. Like I had went on tour. We played in the woods in Nashville, and when I got back, I thought I had bug bites, but they never went. It was months and months. These red dots that would just itch. You know what I'm saying? And slowly another one would appear somewhere else. I was like, "What is this?" It was some kind of allergic reaction or something. So this TA cream, it was like expensive. The doctor fee was like $150 plus the medicine. The lady was like, "I'm going to get you a 1 pound jar." Cause I had a lot. I needed to like put it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then when I got it, I got this little 6-ounce tube that didn't even work.
What the fuck?
It worked, but it wasn't enough. So Ford in Thailand, you go to the pharmacy and you can get all these medicines, dude. They have 1 pound jars of TA cream. Just you walk in like a Walgreens, but it's just tons. We go to King Super and Walmart pharmacies, dude. In America, we don't know what it's like to walk into a store and be able to get all the generic medicines we need normally. You got to go through this rigmarole and pay a shit ton to this doctor system and barely even get what you need. So we had some shipped from Thailand. Her friend sent us 2 jars.
That was the same thing.
2 pounds of TA cream for a fraction of the cost. I still got it and I still use it. Whenever I feel like there's like a red bump itching, I just use it. You can just go buy it. All kind of stuff, dude. In Thailand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went to the dentist. They got my teeth cleaned. They got all kind of stuff for like 20 American dollars because they have a universal healthcare system. There's like a flat fee for sickness that's super cheap and a flat fee for disease that's super cheap. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the doctor and get normal stuff taken care of for super cheap. You don't even need an ID. They just have healthcare. And here we are in America.
Yeah. Now, to play devil's advocate on that, like, I think the argument would be like that type of system stifles innovation, that where these drugs are able to be developed to where they can get spread to these countries that have, you know, all of these generic. I don't believe that this is a good argument. I'm just trying to say, why do we have the system in place that we have right now? Right? Like, how did it get to this point? You know what I mean? But I think this, what Marc Cuban is doing right here. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's a pretty good idea.
Holy shit! Yeah,
look at this, $9,000 for this drug. And
what is this drug?
Would cost them $39. Imatinib.
Is that like a?
I don't know what that is.
Dude, holy mackerel. Your drug with us costs $39. You save $9,618 on your medication, and that's a 30 count supply.
That's insane.
I don't know if that price difference is just so we can innovate and come up with new drugs. My first reaction is
I think the arguments that the fucking pharmacies, the pharmaceutical companies make about why they charge this type of markup in these drugs is that's the cost of research and development, innovation, how they fuel them finding new drugs. It's a fucking racket. They're just trying to make money. Like, I don't agree with that or think they're fucking being benevolent and honest, but yeah, it's absurd. I wanted to look and see if anyone had any negative opinions about this. I found my way on to, well, first of all, how do you feel about it? You think it's a good move on his part?
I was kind of wary at first because it's like too good to be true.
Right.
But it seems to be it. I mean, he goes directly to the manufacturer. I mean, I have some questions, you know, what about prescriptions? I can just go buy this. I still got to get a prescription, right?
Yeah. You still got to get a prescription for it. I understand.
Yeah.
I found a page, you know, drug topics, the voice of the pharmacist. And it's their whole, it's basically pharmacists that, go ahead.
Regardless if what Marc Cuban's doing is a scam or not, our medical system over here is fucking garbage. And
clearly
what Marc Cuban's doing is the way it should be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
If I disagree with what Marc Cuban's doing, this is still fucking bullshit. Huge bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. So this page is basically, they call it the voice of the pharmacist. I think it's about like these small pharmacy owners, and they're basically posting their opinion about it. They say so independent pharmacies have been screaming from the rooftops for years about the unfair practices of PBMs, which I guess is the pharmaceutical companies, and for good reason. They continue to represent the biggest threat. Many believe that Marc Cuban is a perfect mix of investor smarts, business acumen, and celebrity influence to bring a wide range of attention to unfair, unregulated PBM practices. So their thought is that like this is going to bring welcome regulation to the pharmaceutical companies and like what they're doing as far as charging markup on their drugs. Although some independent pharmacy owners are grateful for the publicity of this new program and how it's shining the publicity shining on unfair PBM practices, the small pharmacy owners worry that the impact that the online pharmacy will have on their business. So basically they're worried about their small town pharmacies. more or less. One thing that I thought was interesting in here is they talk about the missed opportunity. They talk about how his company has a partnership with TruePill. It's not a knock on TruePill itself. The disappointment comes from a nameless and personal mail order model. Many of the medications on the website sells are for chronic conditions. Typically, these patients are on multiple medications. Patients might fill some medications through the MCC the program. It's a long acronym. And others through a traditional pharmacy, since Marc Cuban's program won't bill insurance. Their prescriptions are now fragmented, and then the dispensing pharmacists don't have the complete picture. So I guess if you're kind of relying on your pharmacist to tell you like how much, when, to take and all that type of shit, there's less control of that, especially for chronic conditions, because the medications, some are coming from Marc Cuban's company, some are coming from, insurance covered medications that aren't generic. They talk about higher fees. So patients could be deemed non-compliant by their insurance company if they get their medications filled outside of their insurance network, and the independent pharmacy that fills their insurance-based prescriptions is punished with higher remuneration fees when this happens. So that could hurt like your small town pharmacies and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, from the consumer perspective, this is a 100% good move. 100%.
Yeah,
the way things should be.
People need to be able to.
I couldn't find any other negatives other than like that site talking about the impact on small pharmacy owners. So,
what kind of testing and shit are they going to do if their excuse for the high prices is to fund innovation? Like, what do they do? Are they time traveling in a big gyro wheel?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what that's the excuse given whenever they're pressed on this issue of why are you charging so much for this fucking medication? That's the type of answers they give.
It's fucking crazy.
But anyway, let's end on a super good note. You want to kick this next one off?
Oh yeah, the fella who is paid 300 times his salary takes the money and runs. Listen to this, dude. He was paid 450 pounds. Is that euros or pounds?
Wait a second. I wanted to bring up something that was super alarming to me about this last article. I'm sorry to jump backwards for a second. Good. But they stated the amount of money that the pharmaceutical industry rakes in per year, and I had no idea it was this kind of money. $365 billion a year for prescription drugs.
They got to innovate, bro.
That is almost dude, is such a ridiculous amount of money.
And we're the one of two countries in the world where you can advertise pharmaceuticals. Advertise, sell.
And 18 million Americans, 7% of the U.S. adults cannot even afford to pay for their medications.
Dude, it's wild because if you're sick, go to the doctor. The doctor tells you what you need. But people see a commercial, and then from there, it's kind of they
go to the doctor and they're like, I'm kind of having. I think I might have this condition. I think I know the drug I might need for it already.
Yeah, dude. Yes, dude. It's like the chicken or the egg. It's like the other one's coming first. If the commercial comes first, and then they're like, oh, fucking, I got stomach aches and shit. Like, maybe you shouldn't eat pancakes all fucking day. That's why you got Crohn's disease, you fuck. It's called unhealthy.
Come on, man. That's not the American way. We don't actually live a healthy lifestyle. We just take a medication to make us feel like we're healthy.
Yeah, like I broke out in hives because I ate Fruity Pebbles for 3 weeks straight. I think I have eczema. I need imatinibs. Like, you need salad and sunlight first.
People are so fucking silly.
It's crazy, man.
Anyway, all right. So yeah, this guy got paid 300 times his normal. What would you do if that happened and you got paid 300 times your normal salary?
Yeah, that's a good question because I was thinking about that. And then once I saw the details, I was like, dude, I'm with this guy. I respect this guy because he was, what is that?
First
Euros
of all,
or pounds?
That's a euro. I don't know, pounds.
It says the average take-home pay, this is in Chile, is 750 pounds, whatever that thing is, a month.
Lira, whatever.
Average. He was making 450. So this dude's getting fucked. He's getting paid like, I just imagine he is one of these guys like, I'm getting underpaid, dude. What the fuck? And one day you get $150,000. He took it and ran, dude.
You're getting $450 a month.
And my
month. You get dude, that's such a small amount of money, first of all. And then you just get 150 grand. I'm like, first of all, what would incentivize you to stay? It's not like you have a solid job that's paying you a really solid salary where, how long do you have to work to make $150,000 if you're making $450 a month? And
it's not really illegal, right? They paid you, right? Like they signed that check.
They're going after them.
They got their signature on the check.
Because he originally reported it to his manager.
And then he was out.
And then he was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going.
He told his manager who flagged it to HR, he agreed to return the cash. But instead of giving it back, the man withdrew it and hasn't been seen since. I love how they responded. His employer, Consorcio, tried to make contact with the man over the next 3 days, but to no avail. Later, they received contact from the unnamed man's lawyers. He lawyered up. He was like, dude, fuck that. Who informed Consorcio that the man had resigned from his position with the company. That's such a boss move.
That's
his lawyer called him and was like, he's resigned from his position.
That's so
it's like,
gangster.
we fucking know he resigned, you asshole. He's not, dude, I love that. After no sign of contact, bosses at the company decided to file a complaint with law officials charging the man with misappropriation of fund, which is not that high of a crime. They filed a complaint, misappropriation of fund. I mean, this is this is just all we can do. That's basically what they're doing. Like,
that dude,
we're fucked. He got us. That's what that says to me.
Well, he would have had to work like almost 30 years, 27 years for him to make that amount of money.
Dude, I guess I didn't do the math. He got 27.
He had 27 years worth of like salary. Like if you just saved it all once.
Holy shit.
In one check.
That guy is my hero, dude.
And he's like, all right, well, you know what? Fuck this. I'm getting a lawyer. These bitches can't take my money. I'm going to get another job.
I'm so nice. I would have gave the money back. And then 3 days later, when they disrespect me, because like I forgot to close the door, I'd have been like, I should have fucking kept that money. These motherfuckers. Fuck.
I don't know what I would do. Like my conscience would like kick in. Like
this guy did the right thing. He did the right thing.
Yeah,
he was getting underpaid.
For sure did the right thing.
He did the right thing. Way to go.
I'm glad he had the brass nuts enough to do it.
Yeah, he was aware enough to like see what was happening. Be like, I'm fucking out of here, dude. Fuck these guys.
They're sending us up to HR now. All right, I'm out. I'm going to get a lawyer. Fuck you.
Yeah, he's resigned from his position. It's like, that's like being on the phone with customer service when you have a problem. And they're like, I don't know. They give you some solution and it's not really, I don't know what my example is, but yeah, that's like.
They just kick the buck down the road. Yeah.
Kick the buck. Yeah, that's dude, this is so awesome.
Can.
So, yeah, you're going out of town. We're going to be on tour and we got that date.
Maybe I'll be in town.
Oh, really?
On that date. And if so, I'm definitely going to come.
Okay. Right on. We're going to be getting into Louisiana on that Wednesday, and I'm still trying to get some shows lined up. So I don't know what day you're actually leaving, but we might.
I was leaving on the 17th, coming back on the 23rd.
On the 23rd. Oh, okay.
That's what I was like, yeah, maybe I'll be in town, especially if we leave a day early or something.
Dude, yeah, catch that early flight.
We're driving, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Okay, that would be sweet, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, so we got at least a Boom Boom Room show booked.
Yep. I'm trying my damnedest right now to find locals to jump on the New Orleans shows. I got 2 New Orleans shows on hold. I just need locals and I can't find
I'm telling you, the key to all that, unfortunately, is you got to network beforehand on social media. Like you have to start liking other bands shit, commenting on their shit, like kind of making friends with them that way.
I'm getting some responses right now, though, man.
That's good.
I'm getting enough responses that I think if I keep it up, I'll find somebody that'll be like, "Hey, we actually can." So I'm close, but yeah, you're right. You got to play a long game, and I'm playing a last minute game. But it's actually kind of coming through a little bit. I feel I'm still optimistic.
But I'm only telling you that for your next go around.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it myself. Like I've just watched Jarek do it over the years, and I'm logged into the band's like accounts on my phone. So like I see the messages going back and forth. He's constantly reposting other bands shit on our stories, like giving them props, saying their music's fire and shit like that. And anyway,
he doesn't even mean it. He just wants a show.
No, he definitely does. Like he really
selfish
finds
fucking bastard. No, I'm joking, dude.
He really does. Like it's like genuine shit. He's not going to repost shit on our page that sucks, you know.
Right.
And you like find a band you think is really cool. Like, hey, let me show them some love. Maybe they'll see it and give us some love back. And that's what happens.
One band today messaged me back like right away, and they were like, "Hey, we're actually in Massachusetts, but let us know if you're ever here."
Dude, see? Exactly.
And then one other guy was like, "Oh, we broke up in 2018. I found this website called NOLADIY.org, and it's this long fucking list of bands, and some of them, their link goes to a MySpace page. So like some of them are current and some of them are long dead. But yeah, anyway.
MySpace page.
Dude, it goes to several of them go to MySpace.
I didn't even know MySpace was still up.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Let's make a MySpace for Death Skepsis.
For the Skepsis Telegraph, it might blow up, dude.
Dude, let's just do all of our social media accounts all through MySpace.
We are going to revive MySpace.
We're reviving MySpace
as a podcast platform because we're going to blow up and it's going to be like all over again. But
bro, we're Dane cooking.
We're the Dane
MySpace
podcast
again, but for podcasts this time because he did it with comedy. We're doing it with podcasts.
Fuck yeah. And I'm gonna get this heat press machine, and we're gonna make some badass. Well, I'm gonna make some badass Skepsis Telegraph shirts. My friend, I was at his house and he let me use his heat press, and I made a shirt. It was so freaking easy, and the shirt's good quality. I'm gonna mail you a couple.
That's awesome because I ain't gonna lie. The ones we do for the cricket, they're not. I mean, they look good, but after a few washes, the one that my wife has. The heat press. After you like wash it a couple times, you can tell like the letters start wanting to peel up and shit.
Oh, this one he said they hold up really well, but I don't know where she gets her transfers from. But he gets his from some website that does really good transfers, and that's the key, I guess.
Oh well, we do it for baby onesies, so it's not that serious. But anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, man, fun articles this week.
Yeah, man.
And
interesting stuff.
Yeah, fucking interesting stuff.
Israel. One word, dude. Propaganda.
Dude, propaganda for sure.
I'm going to make a shirt with this heat press. It's just going to say propaganda.
Propaganda. No one's going to get the reference.
They don't need to. They just need to know.
Propaganda's out there.
They just need to be aware of propaganda. Dude, I look super geeky. I feel like I'm working out and I'm like gaining weight. And then I see me on this webcam and I'm like, fuck, I'm still a pencil neck geek. Like no matter what I do, I'm still a pencil neck geek plus glasses now. So fuck, I need to get a neck tattoo and like just get a little bit of.
Are you taking testosterone, bro? I mean, come on.
Nah, I'm on the natch. Weed and caffeine. A lot of people, they get the Adderall, the TRT, and they're trying to.
Bro, I start taking the Tongkat Ali, the natural shit for testosterone.
D-aspartic acid is what I like taking for testosterone. It's a natural compound that boosts the natural process of test. Did you ever take D-aspartic acid?
No, I have not.
It's cheap. You can get it at GNC. It's like $10 for like a bottle, and it tastes like BC powder, and it's like fine powder. Mix it and shoot it. And like,
text me the name of that.
It's like a natural compound, but it's a critical element. It's a critical part of the body's natural testosterone production. Yeah, like it aids. It's like taking vitamin D, and you start feeling really healthy. You know, like D-aspartic acid. You'll get it's not like your heart rate increases, but you'll get vascular, and you'll feel alive. It's not like pre-workout. You know how sometimes your eyes are really awake and aware?
Yeah, you have
like,
a certain clarity about you.
Yeah, and a physicality that goes with it too. D-aspartic acid. I need to start taking it again.
Dude, send me the fucking name of that.
It's the shit.
Text message.
It's legit the shit.
Because I will probably pick that up, especially if it's that cheap.
It's cheap, it's natural, and it's not like a speed where you crash. It's just something your body needs, and then you have your testosterone going. You just feel good.
Fucking A.
Yeah. It's fucking
all right,
awesome.
bro.
And that shit you were talking about, what was it real quick?
It was Tongkat Ali.
Is that like a root?
I don't know. I think so. It's like a root of some sort.
Is that like I
heard
French?
about it.
Is it like a jazz pop band?
No.
From New Orleans that y'all played with?
No.
Oh.
Supposed to. I think I've seen it in like Drug Emporium. I've heard about it being a way to like increase like testosterone, but obviously what goes hand in hand with testosterone. It's like advertises like a male sexual enhancement supplement, basically.
Ashwagandha root. I
take ashwagandha though already.
I was taking ashwagandha before it caught on. I'm talking.
I've been taking it for like years.
Okay. When? I'm talking
4 or 5 years.
Okay, I'm way back, dude. I'm talking like 2014 when I had moved back from Austin.
I take that for my anxiety and shit.
It works, right?
Good. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it's a legit.
I do cycles on and off, like couple weeks on, couple weeks off.
Ashwagandha will legit give you like a calming effect.
Calm buzz, not a buzz, but just calm effect throughout the day.
And it's been shown in mice to rebuild damaged brain cells.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it can rebuild. I mean, to an extent, but like if your brain has any kind of something happen and it'll
traumatic shit, yeah. Maybe
not, CTE and it'll rebuild all of it, but there's probably like 2%, 5% of a CTE that can, a little bit, maybe. Yeah. All right, man. Fun podcast. Go listen to our bands. Alfred and the Teddinators. Our new jam tape is up. Golgothan, Leech Jams. I'm getting ready to release stuff. If anybody's still listening, subscribe and follow.
Yeah, hopefully people are still listening. But yeah, see you next week then, bro.
See you next week, man. Peace.
Later, bro.